Hello learners at home. It's good being with you on this segment of the English language lesson organized by the Ministry of Education. My name is Mercy Baintakude, one of your teachers of English language. With me here is Mr. Patrick Ishaya, the special language interpreter. Before now, we have gone through a series of lessons. We talked about guidelines on essay writing. We talked about transition words. We talked about collocations. All these are components that you put together to enable you write a beautiful piece of essay. Today in particular, we are going to talk about descriptive essay. We are going to talk about descriptive essay. In the course of this work, you will come across Mr. Pedro Nkom, who will talk to you about narrative essay, and subsequently, he will talk about argumentative essay. So, for us to start, what is a descriptive essay? A descriptive essay, as the name implies, is a form of essay that describes something. In this genre, you are assigned the task of describing objects, persons, places, experiences, and situations. This encourages one to create a written account of a particular situation. When you describe, you betell of a situation, or you bewrite it. Better said, you portray a very clear picture of whatever you are describing. What is more, this genre allows for a great deal of artistic freedom, the goal of which is to paint an image, make it clear, vivid, and moving in the mind of the readers. Why do we describe? We describe because we need our listeners or our readers to have a clear picture of what we are talking about. It's possible when the event took place, the reader or listener was not there, but your ability to describe clearly will give a mental picture, and the person will kind of feel like he was there when that thing was being done. Sensory information is used to enable readers to use the 5 senses of touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight to understand the topic being discussed. It means for you to be able to describe. If you need to describe well, you must work towards touching the 5 senses of whoever is listening to you or whoever is reading your work. If you are, for example, you are describing how to prepare fried rice, your aim is to make your listener have the feeling of as if he's already eating that rice, which means your description will have to touch the sense of taste. If you're not able to do so, I'm afraid the aim will not be achieved. Now, what are the qualities of a descriptive essay? Like every other form of writing, a descriptive essay has qualities. The qualities are the things that make your piece of work rich. Number 1, your essay will have to be clear and concise. When your work is not clear, you would end up confusing your readers. So you need to work towards achieving a clear and concise piece of work. 2, use of imagery. Remember we said, when you describe, you are giving a mental picture. You make the person have the impression like, I was there when this situation was taking place. I was there to watch this film myself. So you use proper images because you need to create a mental picture. Then 3, use of sensory details. Like I mentioned at the definition, you need to make proper use of the sensory details. That's talking about the sense of taste, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, the sense of feeling, and the sense of sight. That's your ability to see. As far as the clear and concise language is concerned, it is necessary to describe things precisely. For instance, you need to describe your interpreter. You will take a very look at him. You tell us about his height, about his complexion, the color of shirt he's wearing, the color of trousers. Is he tucked in? These are things that you need to mention about. Then talking about the physical features, does he have facial marks? If yes, please tell us the kind of marks that he wears on the face. By the time you do this, anybody coming, catching a glimpse of him will say, yes, that is the teacher that she was describing. But when you are not able to do so, it means you are misleading them, you are misguiding them. Instead of going to Mr. Patrick, they will go to Mr. Pedro. The aim is not achieved. Imagery. It is used to make things seem real and remarkable. Now, you give an impression of a real situation. A real situation. I was not there when it happened, but you want me to have a feel of that thing. Assuming you want to describe a lady wearing excess makeup, she is sweating, you already know what it will look like. So it won't be a bad idea if you say, because she is sweating, the makeup makes her look like a wet guinea fowl. Description. So you give a beautiful description that will help your readers or your listeners to get a clear picture of what you're talking about. The use of 5 senses creates the imagery. That is a mental picture. Remember I said your reader wasn't there, your listener wasn't there, but because you want to create a mental picture, you want him to imagine it, you want him to think it, you want him to have an impression of what you're portraying. So you create a mental picture for your readers. Now we have guidelines for writing a descriptive essay. Number 1, take time to brainstorm. If you want to be a very good English language student, you need to take time to brainstorm. How do you brainstorm? You think. It's about thinking. What do I want to write? Where am I? Which location am I writing about? What are the things that are situated there? What does the environment look like? What's the smell in that environment? So you continue to ask yourself questions. So as you ask yourself questions in the process of brainstorming, write down ideas before you begin to describe. As you think, ideas will continue to come. Ideas will come, so you just jot down your points. Then compile descriptive words for each idea. Like I said earlier, assuming you want to describe the interpreter here, you will compile words that will help you give a very clear description. You just don't go telling us he is tall, he is slim, and that's all. No. Give us every detail about him. The height, the complexion, the way he's dressed, the color of the shirt he's wearing. If he's wearing spectacles, you tell us. If he's wearing his shirt without any cufflinks, you tell us. So you give a clear picture. Why is it so? It is possible there's another person dressed as him, but that person is not properly tucked in. But if Mr. Pat is tucked in, you will see that there's a difference in the dressing. So anybody seeing him will remember, yes, she said he has cufflinks on the shirt, and your description is clear. 2, use clear and concise language. This means you have to carefully choose your words, particularly for their relevancy in relation to that which you are intending to describe. Words that you use should be relevant to the topic you are talking about. Assuming you are talking about a school situation, we have words related to school situations. For example, in the school setting, we have things like the timetable, the class roster, the first lesson, the second lesson, the scheme of work. But if we are talking about a hospital setting, the kind of words that we will need to describe a hospital setting will be different. There we'll begin to talk about the stretcher, the doctors, the ambulances, and so on. So we need to be very careful about our choice of words. 3, use your senses. This means you will have to be appealing to the senses of your readers. Remember from the very beginning, we made you understand that the aim of writing is to captivate, is to capture the attention of your reader. Now, if you don't write things that will be appealing, your readers may lose interest, and that piece of work may not go far. People may not be interested in wanting to read it. Why? Because it is not captivating, it is not fascinating, it is not appealing. So, as you write, try to be appealing. Then, explain how a thing smells, sounds, tastes, feels, and looks like. If you are explaining an environment, assuming you get to an eatery, the sure thing is the whole place will be filled with aroma, different kinds of aroma. At a point, you might even get confused. Is it the aroma of rice? Is it aroma of egusi soup? Is it the aroma of sweet potatoes? So you need to be specific. Then embellish the moment with senses. Embellish it, enjoy it, beautify it. Number 4, choose vivid language. Vivid, clear. Your language should be clear. Such choices form a firmer image in the mind of the reader, and oftentimes nuanced meaning that serve better one's idea. If your language is clear, it will help give a deeper meaning to what you are saying, and you are making it easy for your readers or your listener to understand what you are saying. Now, let's look at the following. We have some words here, talking about choice of words. A, we know of the horse already. It's common. Most times people write and they use the word horse. But instead of horse, you can use the word stallion. It means the same thing. But because it is a stallion, there's this captivating thing around that word. So use stallion instead of a horse. B, cheap. You can use miserly instead of cheap. Number 3, instead of violent, you can use tempestuous. D, instead of gets, like someone gets 30,000 every month, you can say he earns 30,000 every month. Choice of words. Ensure you make very good choice of relevant words that you use. E, assuming someone brings a letter to you. Instead of saying, I got the letter, it's sweeter you say, I received the letter. So remember to make very good choices of your words so that you will make impact in whatever you are writing. Number 5, be focused and think deep. If you're not focused, you will lose it. In everything that you do, working towards perfection, you need to be focused. Think deep. Now, when you do that, it describes emotions or feelings to help you. When you concentrate, thinking, it helps you describe the emotions. What do you feel at that point? What am I thinking about? What do I hear? What do I see? So always focus and think deep. For example, instead of saying many have lost in their lives, it is better to say many have felt crushing loss in their lives. Now, felt crushing is what beautifies this sentence. We can say they have lost, but crushing, they have felt crushing loss. That is a collocation. Remember, we talked about collocations, we talked about transition words and phrases, so this is an example of it. Collocations, transition words and phrases help beautify your work, and they help connect ideas together in sentences, in paragraphs. So always remember to use your collocations and transition words and phrases. When done, tap into this emotional reservoir in order to achieve your full description potential. You know, it's like a bank. Thinking, it's like you are drawing from a bank. You concentrate, you think, the ideas will keep coming. It's like an inspiration. But if you're not concentrating, thinking becomes a problem. So always endeavor to think deep so that you tap from this emotional reservoir. 6, leave your reader with a clear impression. How do you do that? You evoke strong sense of familiarity and appreciation in your reader. You may not have met your readers, but because of the kind of words that you use, they get comfortable, they feel they have known you before, and your work goes across the borders. Number 7, be organized. Strive to present an organized and logical description. When you don't organize, it makes your work scattered. But when you organize in way of logic, it gives you a systematic representation. Now, some tips for writing physical description of your essay. 1, do not be specific all the time. 2, use figurative expressions. 3, make your description and tone match. When you are talking about something sad, let your description match the tone of sadness. When you're talking about merriment, let the description match merriment. Next, scatter physical descriptions throughout your writing. Then, describe actions that reveal physical characteristics. Then remember to use your transition words and phrases. Collocations are not left out. Remember to use your collocations as well. Then, use the right punctuation marks. Your full stop, the comma, the apostrophe, and so on. Then, make proper use of adjectives. Remember, adjectives are words that describe. How do we start a descriptive essay? If you have your mind to write a description of some place, stick on the following plan. 1, write the heading of your essay in capital letters. Write the heading of your essay in capital letters. 2, write an opening sentence revealing the topic sentence, that is the main idea. 3, present a place you're going to talk about. 4, tell about your feeling being at this certain place. 5, provide specific details about its location. And 6, move on to develop your essay. Descriptive writing style. The writing style should be expressive and may include descriptions, opinions, comparison, personal perceptions, and sensory perceptions. For example, 1, her last smile to me was not a sunset. It was an eclipse, the moon dying away to darkness, where there would be no dawn. 2, my Uber driver looked like a deflating airbag and sounded like a talk radio on repeat. 3, his old black coat glistens in the late dark afternoon sun. His face displays a strong confidence with his nostrils flared. His veins bulging from his cheekbones, and his fiery black eyes burning holes into the souls of those who stare at him. Purpose of a descriptive essay. The main purpose of a descriptive essay is to create a mental picture. We have said that from the beginning. When you are describing, use the 5 senses so that it will have the proper effects needed for the description. Remember the sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of hearing, sense of sight, and the sense of feeling, the 5 senses. Whenever you forget, remember your integrated science. The 5 senses are always stated there. Now, this is an example of a table for sensory information. If you want to write as you brainstorm, just make a table and highlight the words according to each of the sense organs. We have the sense of feeling, smell, sound, taste, and sight. Okay? The sense of sight is one that most writers consider first, but by trying to work on it last. Let's take, for example, a description of a place. You ask yourself the following questions. What do you feel when you go there? What do you feel on your skin? Is the weather hot or cold? Are the smells in the environment good or bad? Is the place quiet or noisy? Are there cars moving about? Are people talking? What about the sounds of nature? Taste is the difficult sense to describe, and the degree to which you pay attention to it depends on the question asked. Sight comes last here. You can describe by color, size, depth, height, and width. For instance, for you to write a short passage that describes a lake, you do a sensory table and bring up words that will help create a sensory details of a lake. Now, I have words that will help create my sensory details here under the various aspects of senses. So let's move on to the paragraph. Lake Harriet. Lake Harriet is a great place to swim and relax. In the summer, the water is warm and clean, and the beaches attract people seeking relief from a midsummer scorcher. In addition to swimming, visitors to the lake can go canoeing, sailing, windsurfing, or fishing. The blue water is a refreshing, tempting sight. The sweet scent of sunblock wafts through the air from sunbathers lying on the beach. Children laugh and splash water, and nearby volleyball games stir passionate shouts in the heat of competition. Meanwhile, lifeguards sit atop their towers and make sure everyone is safe. In the distance, sailboats catch the soft breezes that ripple Lake Harriet's surface, and canoeists glide quietly past. This is what summer is all about. Now, we have talked about things that you need to do, and now I have an assignment for you in way of rounding off this lesson. Below are 5 topics for descriptive essay writing. Write on any of the topics. 1, my first day in secondary school. 2, my favorite food. 3, my best friend. 4, my best place to hang out with friends. 5, my childhood memory that I still remember. I'll read through again. 1, my first day in secondary school. 2, my favorite food. 3, my best friend. 4, my best place to hang out with friends. And 5, my childhood memories that I still remember. For references, 1, expository essay. Essays, Human Communications, January 2011. 2, expository essay uploaded by Abiromi Sanmugon. And 3, easyclick.net review at topwritingreview.com 2020. My name is Mercy Baintakude, and like I said earlier, the interpreter with me is Patrick Ishaya. You can contact me on 080 080-250-25339. Once again, my name is Mercy Baintakude. Contact number 080-250-25339. Remember, stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Until we meet in another segment of this class, for now, it's goodbye.